Hey, what's up, guys? We are back here doing some layout reviews for the Y Revolution, our alliance here, our alliance members. So this is Umar175. We'll take a look at his base here. Just do an overview of the map here. Look at the mini map. Give some quick base layout tips utilizing this and the layouts here. So this is a very funky base because you don't have any choke points whatsoever. Like, you have towers right here. For this style of base, you really want to close this gap right here. So we don't really do much modifications on the actual base itself, but something glaring like this, you definitely want to make a choke point. You want to move these two towers, move this road up here, close that off, so then you have a choke point right here, and you can have all your ranged troops shooting across. That would help your base out tremendously. So to get that extra road space, you could either take it from right here and just make this a straight line, or you can shorten this up over here. I'd probably preferably take this right here and make this a straight line to give you an additional road path, and then you can have your choke point by bringing that up right here. You could move some of your towers over here, so you could possibly move these two towers over in this corner. It shows that you have a lot of snake towers here. I never recommend having more than 5 snake towers because that makes you easy prey to cannons, and especially if you don't have any choke points. Like right now, you have no choke points whatsoever, so really a whole army of cannon can just constantly move up through your base, and if the hero keeps healing them or puts a shield on them, the cannons aren't going to die, and by the time he gets all the way to your castle gate, he's going to have a huge army of cannons. That's why you utilize choke points, and that's why you have hard to reach towers and arc blasters and ranged troops that are there to take out the cannons. So then in the wave combination too, the werewolf isn't that strong in defense. You're probably going to want to take him out and put more pyromancers in to help deal with the cannons, and then more arc blasters, possibly gargoyles, depending on what you like. But for this stage of the game, the werewolf just isn't that good in defense. If we have an elite boosted werewolf, that may change things up, but that's a ways off right now. So definitely, I would take out the werewolf, put more pyromancers in there, put more arc blasters or archers, and those are the modifications that I would do with that base here. So we're gonna go check out another one. This one right here is priya12 24M. So an 1850 trophy base here. Overall, this looks like a pretty good base, actually. It's a very nicely done base, especially for the lower levels. I like this choke point a lot right here. It's a one space, but it is pretty effective. The only thing that I would probably recommend to help this become even more effective is if people are using cannons against you, you can add another barricade or barrier right up here, and so that way the cannons will stop right over here and start shooting that barrier barricade. You could also add a spike up there, but the barrier barricade is a better option, and that way when the cannons stop here, you can have your ranged troops kill those cannons right there. But overall, this is a very unique style of base. I haven't really seen a lot of bases like this at all. It should work out pretty well because this is a nice choke point here. The only downside is that you can hit both of these barricades with one spell right in the beginning of the game. So those guys are both going down. What you want to do probably is you want to move this barricade over one spot so then it can't be double hit. And then also you can come, like in the beginning of the game, my initial strategy would be to take down both of these barricades and then run up to the side corner right here and take out, or at least hurt that barricade a little bit more. So really, I can hit 3 barricades at once, which is pretty bad. If you move this one, you can move it over just a little bit right by the spike over there, and your base would thank you a lot right there. That would prevent them from killing those 2 barricades at once. So definitely move that guy over. Move him right there. It looks like you have a little bit of upgrading to do, of course. You're still using a couple gargoyles, and you definitely want to replace them into snake towers as soon as possible. I do know that the upgrades are more expensive. The snake tower is a more expensive tower, but that is going to be probably your next priority, is taking out all these gargoyle towers here that you have and replacing them with snake towers. Even if you only have 1 or 2, that would probably help your base quite a bit. Up here, this is a pretty solid strategy because your castle gate does a lot of damage, and loading up with 2 towers right there has a great chance of actually killing the hero right at your front door, especially with your wave troops coming out. For the troops, the only interesting aspect is that the werewolf just doesn't do a lot of damage on defense. Once we get him at elite boost status, then he will be way better. But currently, the werewolf, from what I've seen, he's just not really that good on defense. I do recommend more Archer R Blaster in defenses, and then since it doesn't look like you have mortars here, or you have very, very few, you want to put some mortars in there as well. So I would recommend taking out the werewolf, putting in either a couple mortars, scatter them throughout, putting more archers or R blasters, and then the frosters. I don't see any frosters on your mini map here. So mortars and frosters definitely need to be in there. Frosters are really, really good if the player doesn't use the hero screen feature a lot. So you definitely want to take out these guys, put in mortar, put in froster, and then scatter it, finish it off with a little bit more archers or blasters, whatever you have leveled up. But overall, this looks like a really, really good base, and great job here.